Hi, we're here to discuss the rEPLACE study, which is Riociguat replacing PDE-5 inhibitor therapy evaluated against continued PDE-5 inhibitor therapy, a phase 4 study. This is a non-CME event and does not qualify for CME, CE, or MOC credit. This is a promotional program and is subject to FDA regulations. I am being compensated by Bayer for this presentation. My name is Dr. John Ryan and I'm the Director of the Pulmonary Hypertension Comprehensive Care Center at the University of Utah. Before we start the presentation, please note the link to the full prescribing information for Adempas, including boxed warning below this video. These are the topics we will cover today. First, we will review the indication and important safety information for Adempas. We will then review the Patent 1 study, which is the pivotal study for Adempas. This will also provide context for the last section on the rEPLACE study. As most of you know, Adempas is approved for the treatment of adults with WHO Group 1 pulmonary arterial hypertension to improve exercise capacity, to improve WHO functional class, and to delay clinical worsening. Clinical worsening for the purpose of the Patent 1 study was defined as all-cause mortality, heart-lung transplantation, atrial septostomy, hospitalization due to persistent worsening of pulmonary hypertension, start of a new PAH treatment, persistent decrease in walk distance, or persistent worsening of WHO functional class. We're not going to talk about CTEPH in this presentation, but as you all may know, Adempas is the only pulmonary hypertension therapy approved by the FDA for the treatment of chronic thromboembolic pulmonary hypertension WHO Group 4 that is either inoperable or persistent recurrent after pulmonary thromboendarterectomy or PTE surgery. Adempas has a boxed warning for embryo-fetal toxicity, which means that Adempas should not be given to a pregnant patient since it may cause fetal harm. Before a female patient of reproductive age is started on Adempas, you'll need to counsel the patient about embryo-fetal toxicity and the need to actively avoid pregnancy by using effective forms of contraception during treatment and for 1 month after stopping treatment. For all female patients, Adempas is only available in a restricted program called the Adempas Risk Evaluation and Mitigation Strategy REMS program. In addition to pregnancy, Adempas should not be provided to patients who are taking any forms of nitrates, nitric oxide donors, or phosphodiesterase inhibitors. Adempas is also contraindicated in patients with concomitant use of other soluble guanylate cyclase SGC stimulators. Adempas should not be given to patients with interstitial lung disease and specifically the idiopathic interstitial pneumonias. We talked about the Adempas REMS program that addresses the risk of embryo-fetal toxicity when we reviewed the boxed warning a few minutes ago. As a prescriber of Adempas, you must be certified with the REMS program by enrolling and completing training. Before receiving Adempas, all females must be enrolled in the REMS program regardless of reproductive potential. Only females of reproductive potential must comply with the pregnancy testing and contraceptive requirements. Finally, pharmacists must also be REMS certified and must only dispense to patients who are authorized to receive Adempas. Adempas reduces blood pressure, and there is a potential for symptomatic hypotension or ischemia in patients with hypovolemia, severe left ventricular outflow obstruction, resting hypotension, autonomic dysfunction, or concomitant treatment with antihypertensives or strong CYP and PGP-BCRP inhibitors. You should consider reducing the dose of Adempas if your patient shows signs of hypotension. In the placebo-controlled clinical trials, serious bleeding occurred in 2.4% of patients taking Adempas, compared with 0% of placebo patients. There was also hemoptysis, including one with fatal outcome. Caution is also advised in patients with pulmonary veno-occlusive disease. The mechanism of action of Adempas involves the nitric oxide pathway. We know PAH is associated with endothelial dysfunction and dysfunctional nitric oxide metabolism. Endothelial cells do not produce enough nitric oxide, which results in insufficient stimulation of the nitric oxide soluble guanylate cyclase cyclic GMP pathway. Adempas directly stimulates soluble guanylate cyclase so that you can produce cyclic GMP with or without nitric oxide. Cyclic GMP is a critical signaling molecule in smooth muscle cells that impacts cellular proliferation, vascular tone, local inflammation in the cell wall, and fibrosis. Now I am going to review the Patent 1 study. Patent 1 was a pivotal phase 3 trial of Adempas in adult patients with PAH. Our review of Patent 1 will also provide relevant context for our review of the REPLACE study. Patent 1 included 443 patients with Group 1 PAH who had pulmonary vascular resistance greater than 300 dynes by seconds by centimeters to the minus 5, and a mean pulmonary artery pressure of at least 25 millimeters of mercury. These patients were randomized into 3 arms in a 2:4:1 ratio. These arms were placebo, Adempas maximum dose tolerated up to 2.5 milligrams 3 times daily, and an exploratory arm with Adempas 1.5 milligrams 3 times daily. Patients were an average age of 51 years and were mostly idiopathic, female, with an average 6-minute walk distance of 363 meters. Half of the patients were treatment naive, and of the patients on treatment, 44% were on an endothelin receptor antagonist. 42% of patients were functional class 2, and 54% were functional class 3. Patients with systolic blood pressure less than 95 millimeters of mercury were excluded. The primary endpoint was change in 6-minute walk at week 12. Other pre-specified endpoints included WHO functional class, time to clinical worsening, PVR measurement, and N-terminal proBNP. This slide shows improvement in 6-minute walk distance starting at 2 weeks and reaching statistical significance at 12 weeks versus placebo. The primary endpoint was achieved with a placebo-corrected 36-meter improvement in walk distance. An additional endpoint was change in functional class in patients with Adempas versus placebo. The study design slide showed 54% of the patients were functional class 3 at baseline. Patients treated with Adempas were more likely to improve than placebo and less likely to deteriorate. 4% for Adempas, 14% for placebo. Most patients remained stable. Here we have the data on clinical worsening. The Adempas-treated patients had fewer clinical worsening events and a significant delay in the time to clinical worsening over the course of the study versus the placebo-treated patients. As a reminder, clinical worsening was defined as all-cause mortality, heart-lung transplantation, atrial septostomy, hospitalization due to persistent worsening of pulmonary hypertension, start of a new PAH treatment, persistent decrease in walk distance, or persistent worsening of WHO functional class. The left side of the slide shows that patients treated with Adempas demonstrated fewer clinical worsening events in PAH up to week 12 than patients who received placebo. The difference in event rates between Adempas and placebo is shown in the right table. Events were hospitalizations due to PH, start of new PH therapies, decrease in 6-minute walk distance, or persistent worsening of WHO functional class. There were 3 deaths in the placebo group versus 2 deaths in the Adempas arm. This slide shows the hemodynamic changes from baseline in 339 patients who received right heart catheterization at the start